All right. We are live. We can wait maybe for 5 minutes to see how many people are joining in. Is there anybody from your friend circle? Anybody joining in from Faith and Iming School?
I posted on my group chat, but I don't know if there
Same
anyone
here.
is
If
joining.
they're joining. Okay, okay. Doesn't matter because it's going to get recorded regardless. So whoever is joining, obviously they can start asking questions. And even if not too many people join today because it's a Saturday morning, so there could be a lot of people, still off in bed, we would still have it recorded and then they can play it from LinkedIn. So this is going to be recorded and you can definitely share with your friends and family and whoever wants to revisit, or they can even share, whoever they feel fit. All right, so I think it's almost 11 o'clock and we'll go for another 2 to 3 minutes. Faith, how are you feeling? Iming, how are you feeling? And please feel free to introduce yourself. Are you guys able to see how many people joined so far?
I only see three of us so far.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
do the chat. Yeah.
Okay. It's exactly 11, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right
Yes.
now it's 11.
Yep. That's fine. So we are live. It's been 2 minutes. And I think 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we can continue. Start with it. Even if there is 5 people, we can still start. That's absolutely fine. And then it's, as I said, it's going to be recorded and automatically uploaded on LinkedIn, so we can go from there. But keep an eye on the chat as well and see if there's any questions coming in at all. Yep, and Faith and Yiming, start with introducing yourself, who you are, what you're doing, and then I'm going to also introduce myself as the host. You both are assisting me today as moderators, and 2 of my mentees. Both of you are mentees from UNAC mentorship. So yes, I would love to hear about your experience with UNSC. I would love to know your experience also, with me regarding the mentorship. And then I'll introduce myself and then go from there. So who wants to start?
I can start first, as you offer. So, hi everyone. My name is Yiming, and right now I'm a master student majoring in geography at McGill. And my research interest and my expertise is in coastal conservation. So in Canada, we have salt marshes, and my research in Canada is focusing on the east coast, so New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and the closing region, Bay of Fundy. And I'm having an internship back in China right now. So I'm doing the remote intern as a research assistant for a mangrove conservation company. And I had the chance to meet Nazwa, the amazing mentor, because I was a participant participated in the UN Canada, the Build Young Professional program. And we journeyed through for 3 or even 4 months, like from the very beginning, from how to use LinkedIn to the deep insight topic, like a very niche topic, like how to conserve a mangrove, how to read a project report, something like that. And I think Naswa gave me a lot of support and helped me build up my professional toolkits as well. And I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I hope, I think this meeting, this presentation will give you a great help. Thank you.
Thank you, Yiming. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. And I would now invite Faith, also another brilliant student from the Alberta. Yep. Or
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Saskatchewan.
She's from Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful student. So Faith would, yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Faith Ajibola. I'm a biochemistry student at the University of Regina. I'm a youth leader at the university. I'm passionate about global health, climate policy, policy driven community change. I've been involved in a lot in school. I was a youth secretariat delegate at the Organization for Economic Development and Diplomacy, or EDD, at the University of Regina, where I was able to contribute perspectives on youth driven policy change. I was able to contribute my views on sustainable development among the youth. As a community advocate, I built a project earlier this year, which I named the Indigenous Women's Safety and Resource Map. This map was uh, built to identify the accessibility gaps in safety and support services in Indigenous women and youth. And it is available in the digital print and in the digital and the print. It highlights shelters, legal aid, mental health, and cultural healing resources. I met Nazwa earlier this year through the UNAC Building Young Professionals program, and she has been a great help in my career path and even my personal life. During the program, we met a few times, more than a few times actually, and I got to learn a lot, not only professionally, but skills that are transferable in different fields of work. Um, Nazwa has been really helpful in my professional journey, as in she provided guidance about climate change, sustainability. With someone with a background in the sciences, it can be really easy to just have a kind of what should I call it now? A narrow focus on, oh, I'm just gonna be in the labs, I'm just gonna do what I'm doing with structures and all. But she made me understand that you could be in any field, but how do you bring your skills to solve problems in the real world? How do
Mhm.
you use your knowledge and contribute it in other fields of life and still make considerable impact? So I've learned a lot from Nazwa, especially transferable skills like public speaking. Or Nazwa is really fluent. Yeah, she is fluent. Yeah. So I've learned how to build the confidence, how to speak confidently about your knowledge, how to communicate effectively, and um how to have that charisma, basically. Um Mentorship for me is really important in career growth, because I feel mentorship links you with someone who has already passed through what you are going to pass through, or what you're passing through. And learning from people's experiences is one of the best way of learning, because they tell you first-hand information. So I feel mentorship cannot be overemphasized. At least for me, it really helped me. Naswa shared a lot of opportunities even after the program. I've learned that you don't need to be overqualified before you apply for something. You apply even if you're scared, even if you think you're not going to get chosen, just do it. And it goes a long way. I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and that's me.
Wow, very overwhelming recommendations and extremely honored to hear from both Iming and Faith. The
Yeah.
impact I have tried, I wouldn't say I have been successful. My success of myself would obviously be determined by the people who I have put an impact into the life of, right? So I'm obviously extremely happy and pleased and honored, first of all, to have been given the opportunity by UNSC, by United Nations volunteering team, and obviously to God for providing me with wonderful students like you both. In the past, also, I have done mentorship with UNSC last year, and I've had the opportunity to also meet extremely knowledgeable, very serious, and highly focused students as well. So I'm going to start soon with a very short presentation about what I do and how I help with young professionals entering into this field. But I'm also going to give in short a brief background about myself. So I'm Naswa. I am a Canadian sustainability consultant. I right now am doing my PhD at TMU, which is Toronto Metropolitan University, in Toronto. It is focused on clean energy, climate justice, climate leadership. And by trade, I have a background on sustainable design engineering. So I'm very passionate about this field. This is my bread and butter, my passion, my hobby. I eat, dream, live by sustainability, not just in my professional life, but also in my personal life. And that's, I think, one of the main reasons I have been able to, gather so much of traction in the last few years with wonderful students like you both. Um, I also am extremely involved with climate justice and especially with stakeholders like the indigenous community, the marginalized community. And I think when we talk about clean energy project, sustainable development project, it's not just the core stakeholders who we should consider. So a lot of my work basically focuses on the indigenous community, marginalized people like the women, the children, the seniors, people who are disabled. They are also a very important part of my research. So without any further delay, let's start. I'm going to give a very short presentation, but this is, I hope, even will help Faith and Yiming today, who have been my mentees. But it's always good to have new perspectives, right? So as I always say, and also Faith and Iming, you both have mentioned that sustainability skills now shape every sector, including professional and personal life. So everywhere around the world, the organizations are changing. It doesn't matter if it's a big corporation, it's a small and medium-sized enterprise. Every organization, they have a sustainability department where we talk about ESG reporting, where we talk about corporate social responsibility, because businesses, they need to take accountability, they need to take responsibility for their actions. We talk a lot about climate risk and resilience, and now this year we have seen there has been extreme weather events around the world, right? Not just in North America where we are, but also in Europe, in Asian countries as well. So I think climate risk and resilience is extremely important no matter the sector you are working. That's why we need to take as organizations, as I said, it doesn't matter, it's a big corporations or small and medium-sized enterprise, they need to take accountability of their action, of their supply chain, of the goods and the services that they're producing. And also, we need to focus on the transition to clean energy. We need to focus on how we are redeveloping our workforce with transferable skills into when they start working into the clean energy sector or in the ESG sector. What are the skills that the workforce require? As I was just discussing, that the communities play a big role where we talk about justice and well-being, and we would talk about what climate justice and climate well-being is also. So this is a field which has many pathways. Sustainability is a very, very huge and a broad spectrum. We have ESG reporting, corporate strategies. As I just said, we have clean energy that we can produce, even like solar in different countries like Nigeria, where I think Faith is from. In China, where Iming is from, they're huge on clean energy, especially solar. Bangladesh, where I am originally from, they're also coming with solar projects. So depending on the geographic region, we can basically, as political leaders, as climate leaders, we can propose projects, we can propose infrastructural development for just transition, the type of clean energy that needs to be produced if we are planning to basically align with the Paris Accord or the Paris Agreement, right? And then we have the climate financing institution like the banks, where we have public-private partnerships. Banks also need to focus on investment, and we will give some examples too, because ultimately this entire climate change affects our food system. It affects how we do our agriculture. It affects how much of energy we produce, either fossil fuel based or clean, and then it impacts our health. It is directly also related with DRR. So what is DRR? DRR is disaster risk resilience. So countries like Bangladesh, Philippines, coastal countries, sometimes they're really hard hit, right? We have seen like this year, I am from the south of Bangladesh, which is called Chittagong or Chattogram. It was very devastating for me to see that the flash flood literally washed away hundreds and thousands of kettles in a day from the flash flood. Why? Because the ice caps are melting in the Himalayas and the water needs an outlet to come out, right? And why is the ice cap melting? That should be the first question we should be asking. And it's not just the Himalayan ice caps which is melting. A lot of glaciers around the world are melting, which is eventually going to get our sea level rising than a normal sea level. So that is also a huge factor that we need to keep an eye on. Icebergs are melting. So many low-lying countries are going to get impacted, and that's where we need to bring in education, climate education, carbon literacy. We need proper media communication. We need research and development in this sector so that people are aware about what type of climate adaptation we should be developing, and also some sort of training for the DRR. So when you start working in the sustainability sector, no matter the industry, no matter what background you're coming from, um, you all have really very big, I would say, responsibilities, and you have a big footprint that you can contribute. So you have to ask questions like, which problem do I genuinely care about? For example, Faith is coming with biochemistry background. There are people with molecular biology background. And then Iming is coming with mangrove forest, which is a nature-based solution. I'm coming with clean energy. All of these strengths, all of these traits, all of this can be basically implemented into the sustainability spectrum because it's so big. And I think when we talk about sustainable development goals, there are 17 of them. Definitely you can fit into one of those goals, right? You should start asking questions about who or what do I want my work to serve. So it's a very purpose-based sector. Like it's not just going to the office, a 9 to 5 typical job. You finish your job, you come home, and you forget about it. Sustainability, I think, is more about connection with nature. Uh, all of us need to have a sense of accountability. All of us need to have a mindset of working in the sector, not just professionally contributing to the environment and the nature, but coming home, bringing those principles, and then also implementing them in our household, and also transferring the knowledge to our friends and family, to our immediate family, to our spouses, to our friends, to our parents, because we are borrowing the earth from our future generation. So we need to take accountability, we need to take action regarding responsibly consuming the resources from nature, from Mother Earth, so that we don't leave it at a worse position when we are leaving the world. So these are the kind of things I think anybody, doesn't matter what background you're coming from. Like I have a core engineering background. Maybe some of you are coming from a business background, some of you are coming from an applied science and management background. You should have to ask these questions to yourself. Then you should ask, based on your background, that do I prefer technical work? Do I prefer business work? Am I more interested or inclined towards working in the policy sector, right? Am I more interested in working as a scientist in the research sector? Do I connect with the community? Do I want to work for the greater community? It could be attending town hall meetings, maybe working for the municipalities, working in the regional sector, becoming a climate leader, for example, city of Toronto, the Durham region, right? So you can ask questions like which category fits me best based on my background, based on my personality, based on what I'm more comfortable about. But there is food on the table for anyone and everyone. And then the most important question, would this area keep me learning for years, engaged, and am I passionate about it? So I think this is the most critical and the most important question for anybody entering into any field of sustainability, that long term, am I going to feel engaged? Am I going to be passionate about it? And I think anybody who loves nature, who loves animals, who loves the environment, would definitely learn a lot in this sector, because this field is an ever evolving field, and you would not get bored, because what's applying today might not apply in the future tomorrow. So I think these are, the top 4 or 5 questions I would always ask anybody that I'm mentoring or anybody young trying to get into the field. Now, this is also very important. I get a lot of questions that what degree do you need in order to enter into the sustainable development field, to work in climate change, climate leadership, or just, as a sustainability consultant, what degree you need. So I would say no matter, again, what degree you're coming from, it's a bridge. It's not a boundary. You can always bridge the gap, whichever background you're coming from. And there are so many resources out there, free resources out there. Paid learnings are there sometimes. You can go to schools, you can go back to school and learn about sustainability. But again, you can get a mentor like me. Then you can basically ask them questions about the climate change, learn about it. There are so many programs, fellowships that you can apply to. Many schools in the world, there's offering for free. And then you just have to be on the lookout for it. So people from engineering background, people with business background, financial background, media and journalism, yeah, they're coming from the communication background. If you are a data scientist, data analytics background, technology background, if you're coming from environmental law is also there, right? Climate policy is there. Even if you're a farmer, you're a botanist, a horticulturist. So there is something for everyone in this field. So I would not discourage, demotivate anybody who is entering into the field, and nobody should feel panicked. Nobody should feel like, oh, I don't know what is climate change. I don't know if I fit into the sector. Trust me, climate change is impacting every part of our life. So all fields matter. Your existing expertise matter. Then you just work on it. You gain some new sustainability knowledge. If possible, get some practical experience through volunteership, maybe through apprenticeship, maybe through some internship. Get a mentor. They can also vouch for you, and then that's how you basically build your credibility. Um, this is an interesting slide I created just to uplift the students or the new young professionals, that you may already have half of the toolkit in your position, and you might not even be aware that, oh, I actually do have a lot of knowledge that I wasn't aware that I possess, which are transferable skills and transferable knowledge that can be applied also for the environmental field, in the climate sustainability field. So research and analysis, I think both of you are very aware of it, what research is, what R&D is, what kind of methodology we use for research and data collection. And then you know how to do data interpretation, maybe some statistical tool that you need to know sometimes. Most of us may or may not know what project management is. And I would tell about myself. I was working for a Canadian software company. It's called Constellation Software. That's a parent company, and I was working for AUS, Advanced Utility System, in Toronto. I had no project management experience when I started working as a senior project coordinator. So I was just given the tools And that is like the number one software company in Canada and third biggest in North America. So it's highly fast paced. I started as a training specialist, and then slowly I was, promoted to a senior PCO. I did not know what project management is. I had no clue what project management tools I'm supposed to be using because I never used such tools. No knowledge of any project management software. So I had to learn on the go, and there was nobody to train me. So never feel scared. Just take on have confidence in yourself. I think that's what's important. Everything is doable. The corporate world is not as smooth as we are told in school it would be, that you will be onboarded. Sometimes the onboarding team might be understaffed, might be short-staffed. And it happens even in big corporations. Because I've worked in different corporations and I've had different experiences. So, and I had to train myself within few months, and we were using very critical software. So I onboarded myself, I trained myself to train my clients, most of which were in the US. And then I also slowly started doing project management on the side. So project management is something, if you have a little bit of background, it's good. If you don't, you can always learn. YouTube is there, Google is there. Now we even have AI. So many tools are there, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, free versions. Even they would teach you what basic project management is. So never feel, oh, I don't have the degree. I don't have the certificate. Oh, I don't have the credential. Maybe I'm not a good fit. I still don't have PNP, and I have done multi-million-dollar projects. So it's all about if you're able to dance with the tune. So not necessarily that if you don't have a credential, that means you are not good at it. Obviously, the credential would give you a boost, but not having it necessarily doesn't mean you are not able to learn or you are not able to produce results. And I was one of the best project coordinators, actually, senior project coordinators. We ramped up our team from 9 to 25 in a matter of a year. I brought in revenue from, I think, from under 1 million to close to 2 million in the second year. So yes, I think it's doable. It's just the resilience you need to have and the confidence that would build on your existing skills. Again, if you're coming with a teaching background, there is a lot of scope for climate educators. And I actually have an interdisciplinary background because I have teaching skills. I've worked in 3 different colleges here in Toronto. So I do have some teaching and training and development background. I have worked also with stakeholders, like very high-end stakeholders, like the CTO, mayors, CFOs of companies. I do a lot of public speaking, like now, virtually or in person, haven't done yet, but a lot of virtual speaking, public speaking I've done. So the slowly, the confidence would build up. And systems thinking is, I think, is also a very important trait. And finally, is leadership. Your leadership is what matters the most in this field. Your voice matters a lot. Your conviction, you have to be confident what you're saying and why you are saying it and why it should matter. So I would say build up breadth, then deepen 2 or 3 strengths. So don't go for sustainability all at once because it's a huge field. And I was just mentioning that there are 17 sustainable development goals. Pick your top 3 maybe. I work with 5. Yes, sometimes it's overwhelming. But I would say if you want to start slow, pick maybe 2 to 3 sustainable development goal. Like I work with SDG 4, which is quality education. I work with SDG 13, which is climate action. And then those are the top 2 most. Then you can find your own niche. Maybe life above land. I think there's one, life below water. Then there is equity. Then there is, I think, responsible consumption. So there are so many sustainable development goals. There are 17 of them, and there are subsets after each. So choose your top 3 and then build on them. Read journals on a weekly basis, research, read peer-reviewed journals, talk with mentors in the field, talk with professionals who are working in this field. Go and talk with even organizations. Go for a coffee date. Go for a virtual chat. See what's happening out there. That's how you build connection. The days where we used to apply for jobs and they would call us for jobs based on our resume, those days are gone. They will invite you based on your background, based on how you speak, based on how you present yourself, and based on your knowledge, and based also on your interactions. So it's not just your skills, but how you represent yourself, how you communicate. So climate communication or communication as a whole, I think is 60% of the job in any field, including especially in sustainability. So your credentials may open the doors, but the evidence that you are coming with conviction, you're coming with knowledge, expertise, very good communication skills, you have a convincing power. Faith used the word charisma for me, and I'm very honored that you find me charismatic. I had to develop that skill within me so that when I talk, people would listen to me because I speak from my heart. In any public speaking so far, I have never written a script. I have refined my script, but I write it myself. I never say ChatGPT or Google Gemini write the script for me. I write the script and then maybe I will tweak it a little bit using AI, enhance it. But the words are from my heart. The words are from my mind. The words are from my lived experiences or experience that I see from others. So learn, apply, and then document. Like what I'm doing with you right now, it's a record, it's a document, and then share. Like today's session, you can share with your friends and family. So that is how you basically grow. So your visibility would grow through contribution, not promotion alone. I was just speaking about that, mentorship, or even you can be a mentor. I think both of you have so much of experience by now, so much of knowledge. And I am very happy to see that both of you are very good in your communication skills already. And you guys are both young, very young, much, much younger than me. So show up, never feel inconfident, don't feel scared. Because trust me, I used to feel scared, I used to feel inconfident, and I'm like, I have a lot of knowledge where these people don't have. Maybe I should start speaking. You just have to break the ice once and then nobody can stop you. Then that's what's called showing up. Just show up. And even if you have two topics to talk about, build on it, grow your expertise on it, and then go ahead, show up. That's what people love to know. And storytelling, connect with them. How you connect with people. We connect with people through storytelling, through our own lived experience. That's why I always talk about my friends from back home, my experiences from back home, lived experiences, cyclones I have seen in the past. These are my own lived experience. These are not pictures from Google Images. These are not like pictures from a repository that I'm sharing. And then follow through them, like follow up with your mentors, follow up with an organization you're volunteering for, follow up with your mentees, that what do you think about the experience, can you give me a recommendation maybe, yeah, build on your profile and then look beyond it, listen to their experience, and then maybe you'll learn something new, right, from your mentees. So I have learned so much from my mentees in the past and also from both of you, because we are all from different background. One of you is from Nigeria, and then one of you is from China. I had a student from Russia. I had a mentee from Finland. So we are bringing in varied interdisciplinary experience. Then when we hear about their experience, it's a completely new knowledge that I'm gaining. So always expose yourself to diverse background. And then I think it's very important to set goals. To start with, I would say, let's say, set a goal that what I'm going to do for the next 30 days, maybe for the next 60 days. Then you set a bigger goal, maybe 90 days, 3 months. What should be my immediate goal? Then a little bit immediate short term goal could be 6 months, and then long term goal, maybe within 1 year or 2 year. As I said, choose one or two areas of focus. Look through the job description of a particular position that you're applying. See what skills you have developed by whatever I've discussed so far. What are the gaps, if there's any? Keep updating your LinkedIn profile. Nobody ever taught me how to update my LinkedIn profile. And just to give a real life example, I only had 1,300 followers last year. In this time, I think in July of last year, I had 1,300. Out of those 1,300, 300 were contacts which were completely irrelevant to my field. So I basically deleted them because I wouldn't be using them. I would not be connecting with them. And I want to filter through my LinkedIn profile, because LinkedIn, when you're not using premium, it actually has a threshold beyond which you cannot send connection request. So I did not want any redundant, unnecessary connections in my network who does not at all align with my background. Maybe somebody who's marketing, right? And they're constantly spamming me for advertising with them, asking me to basically, Google Analytics to showcase myself or showcase my company with them. So I would not be using them, or I would not be needing them, those kind of people. So I basically unfriended them, I deleted them, and then I started reaching out to people who are in my field, and not just in Canada or in the North America or in the Americas, but from around the world. Because as I said, when you work in a field, I think it's extremely important, especially for climate change leaders like us. We must know what's happening in other parts of the world, so you can build on your grow your network within 3 months to 6 months. Trust me, you would learn so much. And always be open to networking with them, virtually connecting with them, see what's happening in their country, see the policies of their country, compare it with your country. And since I'm a dual national, right? So I'm basically from Bangladesh and I'm also from Canada. So I always map the gaps. Like I do a comparative analysis for the policy. Like what kind of climate policies are applicable for Bangladesh? What are the NDCs for Bangladesh, which is so different than the NDCs in Canada, because it's a developed country. Bangladesh is an emerging economy. And then geographically, the countries are so different. The same would apply also for the both of you, right? So the policies would be so different. But if you don't talk with people, you would not know what's happening in other parts of the world. And just focusing on one country, I think, is just going to limit your knowledge. If you want to work as an international consultant, especially for global, NGOs or organizations like IMF, World Bank, I think I was discussing it with both of you in our UNSC BYP event, that dream big, have big ambitions, go for bigger consultancy firms like World Bank, IMF, even United Nations, UNDP, right? UNEP. So you need to start building network with them, follow them on LinkedIn, email them, have virtual coffee chats. Sometimes maybe you will send 10 emails, 10 LinkedIn messages, maybe you'll get one. Use that one resource to the best of your ability. Even NASA, right? There are climate organizations around the world. Speak with them. There are climate advocacy group. Join them. Get trainings done with them. Do boot camps with them. Even me, I'm still doing boot camps. I actually just finished a boot camp with Climate Reality Project, which is an organization founded by Al Gore from United States. He's a huge, big environmentalist. So yeah, I think consistently learning is extremely important. Yeah, so I think these are definitely important. And this is how your career would begin. Your education would start. You will be seeing that the fruits of your results would come through. And I think at the end of the day, it's very, very important for always staying curious, to stay passionate, and to always keep in mind that I'm working in a field which has a purpose. All right. Any questions? Are we getting any questions?
Thank you, Nasma, for your talk. So far, I can't see any, but I do have a question for you,
Yes.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, of
So
course.
we've talked about dream big, but like for new graduate students like me, or maybe a lot of other students in the field, we want to dream big first, but a lot of companies, big companies, for me, I'm looking in the environmental consultant position. I talked with people and they said the trick of getting to that position is to have, you need to have different intern backgrounds or working background before to get into that position, because a lot of companies like WSP or Stantec, they're really
Yep.
good companies, and
Yes.
One job could be very competitive. So how
Yes.
can I get like
That
some
experience.
local experience or the quality degree required?
I think that is one of the most important and widely asked question that I get a lot as a mentor. And I have faced it myself, to be honest, just like 3 4 years back, because I was not working in my field, mind it. Even though I
Mm-hmm.
was from sustainable design engineering background, 8 years I worked in the academia. And then 2 years I worked with a utility software company, utility billing company. So it's a software company. So I knew I had a lot of transferable skills, as I was just mentioning, that you can bring in a lot of transferable skills, skills which would be required in the field that you're planning to
Mm-hmm.
enter. How do you basically start with experience is the biggest, I think, challenge or the difficulty that a lot of people have. So, what you could do is you can basically start with gaining some experience through apprenticeship background. So, start having a mindset that, okay, I'm going to start volunteering. I'm going to start with
Mm-hmm.
maybe a part time gig. Reach out to people who are doing projects in your niche. Reach out to them, not one or two, like from US, from Canada, in Europe. You have to do a little bit of homework in the beginning to break the door, and it might
Mm-hmm.
not be very easy or comfortable or even convenient. Convenient in the sense that you might have to work in different time zones. So I was doing a lot of free work, to be honest, before I started, deciding that I'm now going to start my own consultancy platform. I will start to work for myself. But before that, I had to build my credibility, especially in the climate leadership fields, right? Also, at the same time, I spent the last 2 years studying every single weekend. I did not take any vacation for the last 2 years. Like I was literally studying 14 to 16 hours a day, including weekends. I did not take any vacation, and that's not a lie, it's a fact. And because as I said, I'm so passionate about this field and I wanted to catch up. Like, what am I missing on? And what have I missed by not keeping updated? Because I could see the challenges, like the global challenges in terms of managing climate change. And I was like, the weather pattern is changing a lot. In Canada, we can see a lot of record heat every single year. We are breaking the record pretty much. And every
Mm-hmm.
single year, I hear the news, oh, we are at a record heat level. We are at a record heat level. In the last 50 years, we didn't have this amount of, scorching hot days. So I was like, something doesn't sound right. What am I missing on? Why am I not informed of this? What's happening? Let's start digging. And as you start going through the rabbit hole, you see like a whole Pandora's box out there. So I think you have to do two things parallelly. Number one, pick out the SDG that you want to work on. Is it life on land? Is it equity and partnership? Gender equality is there, gender equity is there. Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is education, quality education is there. And then climate action is there. Pick your 2 to 3 niche. Start digging into it. See what are the environmental framework that you need to be informed about. Start with Kyoto Protocol. Know about Montreal Protocol. Start with UNFCCC. What is Paris Accord? Right? I think all of us who's working in climate sector with climate change and we want to become a climate change leader, all of us must work with the environmental framework, and we need at least high level knowledge. Then you can start putting them on your resume, on your CVs. But if you're not even aware and they ask you a question, this is the basic. This is basically 101, climate change 101. Where do you get such resources? That should be the next question. So go for SDG Academy, go for United Nations Climate Change, their website. Go and check their website. There is another website called UNITAR, United Nations Institute for Training and Research, I believe. UNDP, UNEP. There are so many resources out there. They provide so many courses and trainings, and you will learn so much from there. Like there is no end to it, and they keep on updating. And then there's a very maybe small lump sum fee that you can pay, and then you can download the certificate. So once you start doing that, then people who you want to do the apprenticeship for, even WSP, even Stantec, or even for your city, the municipality, or even for China, work for a department as an apprentice completely free but remotely. When you start putting these credentials on your CV, they would see the change, or they would see how you stand out with others who are maybe applying for internship or apprenticeship, and they would see, oh, this student is really serious about what she wants to do in life, and there is a pattern. So for example, I finished not less than, it might sound crazy, not less than 100 to 200 trainings in the last 2 years. So also on public health, if you want to become a climate speaker, and if you really want to be very, very fluent in this field, you need to also know about human rights and climate change, how it impacts our public health and health of the environment. See, like this year we had such bad fire in the northern western part of Ontario. We had such bad heat wave across Canada. Then just a few weeks back, we had a wildfire in BC in Kelowna. Do you think it was just us, the humans, getting impacted? No.
No.
So
Of
many
course, the wildlife as well. Yeah.
so many animals, so many wildlife, so many exotic species which we are not even aware of. I saw a video and I got very tear-eyed. Like I felt so bad. I saw some deer and some fawn. They were literally running through the fire for life. So their habitats are also being impacted. Wildlife is hugely impacted. So there is another sector. How do you work with the animal kingdom? That's where even animal rights come in with climate justice. They're completely aligned. And how you can work and how you can advocate for even animal justice, how it is getting impacted by climate change. And we are losing species from the planet at a rate unprecedented. And we are also at a stage where we have crossed 7 planetary boundaries, and there are 9 of them. We are at a stage where we are using 1.73 times the Earth every year, starting from this year. And it's going to get worse if we keep doing what we are doing right now. Plastic pollution. Microplastics are everywhere now, including animals. They are getting impacted. To the point when we are eating fish from the sea, we're basically also consuming microplastics with the fish. So you see, like this field is so varied. But if you have knowledge about not all of it, but your particular niche sector where you want to work, because you're working with the mangrove, as I know, and it's very tight, is a very tight knit sector with the also water, right?
Yeah.
I think having a little bit of knowledge about why we need to save our coastal region, why we need pure water, because also mangroves, they provide a huge mechanism to also filter water. They also help to prevent tsunamis and big shock waves from the sea. They obviously provide livelihoods for the neighboring communities, especially from getting washed away. So I think it's maybe you can touch a little bit on the aquatic side of water. Then you have a little bit of more knowledge. That's how you stand out. And I think
Yeah.
it's very important to show through your knowledge, through your experience, through various trainings and development, ongoing training and development, as I said, through this different organization. That's how you show that you are very passionate about this field. I think that's what attracts employer. If I have to hire someone personally, especially the sector that I'm working in, I would definitely hire someone who is passionate about this field. I would know that they are not working for just the money. And obviously, it's a growing sector. There's huge amount of money. Many countries are, funding and in billions and trillions of dollars, not in trillions maybe, but in billions right now, although we need to invest in trillions. Um, Energy sector, climate change sector is a booming sector. There will always be job at least for the next 50 years. And I think what would stand what would stand your resume out or your CV out is you as a person, what are you passionate about? That's how you show yourself. You have to convince your employer that this is how I stand out. I have reached a point, I think this year I will be doing 10 public speaking, which I never planned last year, and none I applied. All were invitations. So that means I am making a mark subconsciously that many other people are finding relatable, either with their lived experience or through the lived experience of others, maybe friends and family, or they can relate with their knowledge and their professional field. And they can relate with what's happening in their environment. And that's how they're reaching out to me. And I have to filter through which one I'm going to go with. So there are a few more public speaking that I'm going to do, and I'm not going to take any more after that because, I have my own studies to do. So
Thank you so much.
you would reach a point that you will be like, yeah, I am gaining attraction. Sorry, gaining traction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Faith, any question?
Um,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
do
you.
have a question. So my question is, how do you manage multitasking when you have several competent priorities, and what strategies do you use to ensure that the quality of your work does not suffer?
Yes. This is a big challenge for me right now. I think I've taken more work than I should have, to be very honest. I wasn't sure and I would be able to, but somehow I managed. So here is my trick. First of all, I would never advise you guys to work 7 days a week because it has impacted my health. So I'm not a really big advocate for that. But I knew that I could take it, but I would not advise it for you. I think I could manage my work because, as I said, I work 4 to 16 hours a day, sometimes for free. All the public speaking I'm doing, I don't get any honorarium. I don't get any payment for it, and I haven't started working as a paid public speaker yet. But I'm getting lots of information. Like every day, my LinkedIn is getting inbox. So what I've started doing, I've started prioritizing. At least I get 10 to 15 emails and LinkedIn inboxes a day. I would go through all, I will respond to all, but I'm not going to take all of them. So priority is extremely important. Like prioritize your work. See which one fits best or well with the niche that you are interested to work on. Out of those priorities, you would have highest priority, you would have second high priority, and then you would have low priority. So I have 3, 2, 1, and I label them, like I color code them. This is what I need to work on. Then you have your own job. Let's say you are doing your master's or your PhD. See if it aligns with your research. See if it aligns with your job, or if you have planning to open your own consultancy, if it aligns with your business. Then go for it. If it is bringing value to you, if it is increasing your net worth as a consultant, if it is increasing your net value as a public speaker in climate change, if it's increasing your traction, if it's bringing traction from across the globe, go for it. So I think, color coding and making priority is extremely important. That is number one. Number two is um, always keep good communication channel open with your stakeholders. Keep them informed of any change. Sometimes changes would happen either from your side or from the side of your stakeholders. I have had a recent family event where I could not stay at my place. I had to go and tend to my cousin who wasn't feeling well. So I was not even home for the last 3, 4 days. So this kind of family events can come, family emergencies can come, health emergencies can come. It could come to you, to your family, to your friends, but keep the communication channel open. Keep them informed. Sometimes people disappear. We call them MIA or missing in action. Don't do that. So if you keep the channel open, your stakeholder or your colleague or who you're partnering with, who you're planning to do the work with, they would understand. I think that's extremely important. Number 2. And then number 3, reschedule it at a time when you think you have a little bit of a gap. You don't have too much of overwhelming work piling up on you. So do it at a time. And then let's say you have taken a project, but the project fell through. You were interested in a project, the project fell through for whatever reason. Could be funding, could be bureaucracy, could be some challenges or some resistance from some important stakeholders. And then you're not really feeling very happy or confident about doing the project. Be firm. Learn to say no. This is very important. Sometimes we're like, I'm feeling shy. Should I say no? Yes. Being able to say no is a very big skill. Most people are not very comfortable in saying no. I have reached a point where I boldly say no. I set my boundaries high. I set very high professional boundary because anything you are not comfortable about, trust your gut instinct. You can never put your professional goodwill at risk for future projects. So then if it was in priority number 3, put it in priority number 1 or just take it off the list. Trust your gut. Your gut never lies. Go through the risk analysis. What are the risks? Never take reputational risk. Never. Never take any risk in terms of finances. Never take risk if it's a risk associated with the environment. For example, I will never work for the oil and gas companies. That's personally me. I have had offers, but I would not work for the oil and gas companies. Why? It's polluting the environment and impacting human health and animals as well. It's impacting the environment as a whole. I'm not judging anybody who's in the oil and gas industry. The money is big. People have different priorities in life. I have had financial crisis too, but still I opted not to join oil and gas industry because it is me. I know myself. I might enjoy working for a month or 2 or 3, and then I'll be like, no, it's not aligning with my values and my purposes. So you have to know what are your priorities. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So much.
We have a comment.
Okay.
So this is a comment from Abosid, if I
Abosede
pronounce it
Adewale.
wrong.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
from Nigeria, from the name.
Yes.
Sounds like.
Yes. So Faith, do you want to read it or should I?
You can go ahead.
Insightful session as well. This is such an inspiring and timely session. It deserves to be made available to young professionals and experienced professionals who are willing to navigate their career towards sustainability and contribute to achieving the SDGs within their communities. A meaningful career in sustainability is not just about professional growth, I agree. It is about creating impact where it matters most. I can't wait for our session on September the 5th, 2026. Okay, we need to prepare for it. And
Yes.
looking forward to it.
Oh, wow. Yes. So I do actually have a session with them. It's called AppWen from Nigeria. Faith, from your country.
I'm excited.
Yeah, they reached out to me and then I'm like, So this is going to be a very insightful session also with AppWen. I think it's a women-based organization,
Yeah,
if I'm
I
not
saw it.
wrong. Yeah. So yeah, we will discuss about the different sustainable development goals and how they align with engineers and young professional women actually who are planning to enter into the field. See, I don't have a script today, right? I just showed the slide, but whatever I'm saying it all from my heart because it's this is my lived experiences and this is my experience from people I've been working with in this field, and most of who are also women. And the climate justice is a big part of my passion. And they talk about women empowerment a lot, especially from the global south, like from countries like Africa, sub-Saharan deserted areas. We see a lot of women who are directly impacted by climate change because they have to walk miles to get water.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have to walk miles, even as pregnant women, right? They have to walk miles and then they have to basically get the water. They're pregnant and sometimes they are exposed to violence. They're exposed to starvation. And if, some areas are so much filled with desertification that they're suffering from malnutrition and starvation. Then they have seniors at home that they have to tend to. They have adults at home like their husbands, their parents, or their in laws, adult kids that they have to tend to. But again, at the end of the day, it's the women who are going to fetch the water, bring it home, cook for them, maybe not in a very good environment. The air quality could be very low. Many parts of the world, they're still cooking on cook stoves, where the indoor air quality is extremely bad. Here in Canada, we are so lucky, right? We get IAQ index very high. We get warnings on our phone every few weeks. Don't go out, UV radiation is high. Remember, I don't know, Iming or Faith, if you guys were here in Ontario, a couple of weeks back, we had really bad smoke coming from the northern western part of
Oh
Ontario.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, and
we,
we
we
were
do have
constantly,
those too in
yes,
Saskatchewan. Yeah.
right. So you get notifications on your phone, but in some parts of the world, this is the norm. Even in my country, in Bangladesh, like I was privileged to be raised in a very pampered way. I've never lived in the village. I've always lived in the city. My parents are doctors. They gave me a very good living. They gave me a very good lifestyle. I have never been exposed to stove cooking and all, although actually it tastes good when you're cooking in the stove, by the way. But yes, all jokes aside, that should not be the norm. And I feel so bad for those women that they are constantly exposed to pulmonary respiratory diseases and even heart diseases. And nobody talks about it like it's the norm. So that's how we are exposing women. Doesn't matter if they're pregnant or not, young or adults. Um, these things need to be stopped given how they're suffering from different parts of the world. So that's where climate justice comes in, and their voice needs to be heard. That they need to have access to land, ownership to land, but sometimes their voices are never heard. They know firsthand about harvesting. They know which crops grow best. They know which crops are getting impacted by drought. They know,
Definitely.
yes, but their voices are not heard. So I think these topics can also be very important topic if you want to work as an apprentice in your country, in your home country, because I think Nigeria and any other African country could be a very good example. My own country could be a very good example. Even in China, it's a huge country. I'm pretty sure there are remote parts where women don't have as much as access as the women in the
Mm-hmm.
cities. You can even work
Yeah.
with those underprivileged, marginalized communities as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Mm,
Any question, or we are good to end the session for today?
I think we have another comment. How be more effective, how to work more effective, and make a brief summary of the topic you mentioned. And he said, "Great points by Dr. Nazwa, and thank you."
I'm not yet doctor yet. Everybody has started calling me Dr. Nazwa. No, I'm still um, actually starting in fall. So I'm just enrolled at TMU. Um, it was a very late decision because I have applied for doctorate actually. That's a whole different story for different schools in Canada. I got offer from many schools, but either I didn't like the research project, the research topic, or I didn't like the amount of funding they were giving me. I did not like maybe the faculty. So I have rejected 4 offers actually so far. This is the 5th offer I'm going with. So yeah, even though I graduated back in 2013 from McMaster, that's another wonderful school, like one of the best years of my life were there. I'm going back again to school, enroll for the September for the fall session. So yet to become a doctor. But what was the question again, Faith?
My question?
No, I think there was someone
Oh.
who was asking a question.
It didn't really ask any question. It just listed
Like a
out what
comment?
you said. Yeah, just the comment. Yeah.
Yeah. But anybody wants to, speak with me if I have time, they can always inbox me. They can always send me an email, inbox me. I'm always checking my inbox. I'm very tight on my schedule right now, so I might have a little bit of a delay in responding. Too many things on my plate. Again, I have to prioritize, but definitely I reach out to whoever reaches out to me, even though it's a little bit late, maybe by 2 to 3 days. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we are good for today. Even if we did not have too many, maybe viewers, that's absolutely fine. It's being recorded. I'm going to
Yeah.
end the stream now. We are past 6 minutes. So I think we're good to go. And then, yeah, we can have another session maybe next time.
Yeah.
And
Also, if you have any questions, can reach out to Faith and me as well,
yes,
and
yes,
we
yes,
can maybe forward or bring
yes,
the network
yes.
to you.
Exactly, exactly. It was wonderful, Faith and Iming.
Thank
Thank you so very much for moderating the session. This is first time for me doing a LinkedIn live. So I don't know how I have done, but I would love to do it again and obviously have you both again, maybe when we have a larger audience. I'm hoping this is going to be an insightful session, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of viewings.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to end the stream now.